Shalom, brothers and sisters, giving honor and praise unto the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth, the Most High Power. My name is Yeshaya Yisrael of the tribe of Dan of the nation of Israel. This particular teaching, brothers and sisters, is not, as in other cases, going to be a long one. However, we have it, brothers and sisters, to where there must be noted the difference, or should I say, maybe a difference between teaching and debating. The reason for this particular presentation, brothers and sisters, is because there are many speakers, there are many debaters, there are many teachers. Now, some brothers and sisters have misunderstood what is the difference between a debate and a teaching. When somebody, brothers and sisters, as we're going to point out, is teaching something, that leads one to becoming a student, aka a scholar, and then will become something greater in that manner. When one is a debater, brothers and sisters, be it professional debate or a quote hood debate, if you will. By hood, I mean low budget, if you will. You understand? There are no set students. You are not required to have to bring any pen, paper, pad. You are not required to have to sit back and pay attention and learn and see what is going on. So that way you can be edified and learn something within it. The goal of a debate, brothers and sisters, be it a professional debate or be it a quote hood debate, brothers and sisters, is just to see who presents the better argument. Not even necessarily the true argument or the true case. And so these are things we want to point out for edification purposes. You understand? Now, of course, within a debate, if somebody presents some false information, it can be shown to be false. But the spirit behind that, brothers and sisters, doesn't lead the people who are entertained by the debate to be educated or enlightened. It's just made for just that entertainment. And so we want to emphasize, brothers and sisters, that there is a distinction between teaching and debating. Shalom. The difference between teaching and debating by Yeshaya. Now, I want to, on this, at this point, give a shout out on a human level to my assistant, the sister Dami, that helps me get these PowerPoints together in the formation of it and so forth and so on. Much respect to her. All right, next slide. Debate. A formal discussion on a particular topic in a public meeting or legislative assembly in which opposing arguments are put forward. Verb, argue about a subject, especially in a formal manner. And the root of it, brothers and sisters, linguistically, all right, Latindis, betere, sorry if I mispronounced the Latin pronunciation. And debate, coming from the linguistics of the Latin word, means what? To fight. Now, the reason why I went and saw the aspect of it, root being coming from the Latin in this particular regard, brothers and sisters, right? We have to know well and understand that there are no scholars that come out of fights. There are no scholars that come, brothers and sisters, by default out of a debate, if we will. You understand? The mindset of a debater is to be seen. The mindset of a teacher is to be heard. I want this to be noted for edification purposes. The mindset of a debater is to be seen. Sometimes some are seen as intelligent. Sometimes some are seen as foolish. But the mind of the debater is as long as he or she is seen, he or she is happy because he or she is now seen. Let everybody see you. Let everybody see you. That kind of mentality, as opposed to the mindset that says, I'm going to leave this teaching, this instruction for those who are as it says, what? In Ezekiel in the Bible, whether they hear or they forbear. This is the distinction. The prophet of the Most High, as in this case Ezekiel, was not told to be seen. It was told to him to be heard. It says in Jeremiah that you shall speak to them all that I command you to speak to them. So when we look at, brothers and sisters, all right, the mindset of a debater and the mindset of a teacher, there is a distinction between the two. And we want to show this, brothers and sisters, throughout the scriptures. Next slide. Thank you. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 4. Behold, ye fast for strife and contention, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. Ye fast not this day, so as to make your voice to be heard on high. Now the Hebrew says this, as we're going to look over there on the right-hand side. Hein rarib umaza tizumu ulho ulhachot be'egrof resha lo tazumu kayon lahashmi'ah bamarom quolkem. Now, if you notice, it's color-coded. The red that you see there on the left-hand side that says the word contention, and the red that you see there in the Hebrew that says the word mazah, it means contention. The word mazah, in this case, is the closest word that you can get to, in Hebrew, to mean debate. And we're going to see, brothers and sisters, the word mazah and what it shows in Hebraic thought. The difference between one who is of a contentious spirit and one who is of a spirit of teaching for edification purposes. As we want to emphasize, the spirit of the debater is to be seen. The spirit of the teacher is to be heard. Next slide. Isaiah chapter 51, verse 17. Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, that has drunk at the hand of the Lord, the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunken the beaker, even a cup of staggering, and drained it. The Hebrew says this, Te'ori, te'ori, home Yerushalayim, asher shatit meyad yah, et kos kamato, et hu ba'at kos, ta'ar elah, shatit ma'zit. Now, of course, this here again is color-coded. Now, the part that says drained there is the word ma'zit shown there within the beige or the dark mustard color. All right, now, the word ma'zah, all right, as we see here in the red, the mem, the zadeh, and the hey. Only thing that changed, the hey drops, all right, and then you get the yod in the tau. What happens in Hebrew thought, brothers and sisters, is that being that the closest word to debate in Hebrew is the word ma'zah, you get the word ma'zit. Just as much when you look in the Hebrew there, the word shata means to drink. So the word shatit, brothers and sisters, means that which is drunk. The word drained there, brothers and sisters, is the word ma'zit. Because in Hebraic thought, when you are in a debate, a contentious mindset, it is drained. Things that are drained are tired. It has no use after a while. It doesn't help anything after a while. Anything that's drained is not of good use. So even though it's seen to be drained, brothers and sisters, what good does that do for anyone, brother, sister, elder, or youth? Nothing. Only thing that does is causes one, as he or she wants to be seen and not heard. You understand? The mindset of a debater doesn't think, let me attempt to, though nobody is perfect, fact check my information before I present it. You understand? That doesn't happen with the mindset of a debater. It's just, I'm going to just present it out there. That is what it is. Haha, I got views. I'm seen. Look at me. That kind of mindset. This is why we go to Isaiah chapter 51, where it says, awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, that has drunk at the hand of the Most High, the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunken the beaker. Now, when someone is drunken, you understand? When somebody is drunken, they are drained. They are seen. They are staggering. But a debate, contentious spirit, brothers and sisters, is applied in Hebraic thought to anger. That's why it says, brothers and sisters, the cup of his fury. Kos kamato. Hama in Hebrew means heat or hot. This is why in the book of Isaiah, the sun, the sun, is said as the word Hama. It comes from the root word ham, which means to be warm or hot. So here we are presenting this particular aspect. Things that are warm, or in this case, hot. Things that are drained. Things that have been staggered and have become drunk, brothers and sisters, are used up. That is the spirit of the debater. Brothers and sisters, it's something that has been used up again and again and again, and it does not sit there. And unlike the spirit of the teaching, unlike the spirit of a teacher, always has something fresh to come through, always has something new to come through, always has something enlightening to come through, always has something to sit there and make one, as it says, awake, awake. Brothers and sisters don't become awakened through a contentious mindset. They leave these debates, brothers and sisters, being just as confused, set in place, and upset as they were before they walked in that place. And that is a fact. There are people who have attested that, man, I just went to debate. I ain't learned nothing. I spent my money. They got my money, but I ain't learned nothing. And you just come out either just as confused, drained, or upset as before, because now your energy is not being replaced with something. The spirit of the debater is to smash something down without putting something up in its place. You don't do that, brothers and sisters. You don't sit there and smash something down without giving something in its place. Brothers and sisters, if you're going to tell a brother or a sister, you should not eat things that are GMO, tell that brother or sister what to eat. This is why when I speak to my advisors before I do a presentation, I always talk, may he rest in peace, about Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi said, shouldn't eat this, shouldn't eat this, should not eat that. And then he gives a list. You should eat this, you should eat this, and you should eat that. So you don't sit there and knock something down without putting something in its place. That's the difference between the teacher and the debater. The debater doesn't have any kind of solution. The teacher, already fact checking his or her sources and information, is going to attempt, even if it is rejected, a solution to the problem. The book that I wrote, Blessed be the Most High, Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, History Untold to the Masses, which is available for those who want it on lulu.com, lulu.com. You can type in that and look up Yeshaya Israel, and that book will show up, all right? Now, you can't tell the people, brother or sister, Deuteronomy 28 is speaking about our plight without ever going into Deuteronomy 30. You must go to Deuteronomy 30 to sit there and show when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, and you call them to mind, in the land where the Most High thy King has scattered thee, and shall return and obey my voice, meaning the voice of the prophet Moshe, and do all that's commanded to thee this day, that then the Most High will turn your captivity. Meaning, in other words, he will do a 180 and you will be brought back to your original state, brothers and sisters. See, you just can't go over, well, the word says Egypt in Deuteronomy 28:68, and it means this, that, and the third, without explaining to the people what is to happen after we were sent in ships. What was to happen after the woman had her menstrual on the men on the bottom of the ship? What was to happen after the women were raped on the ship? What was to happen after the men were flogged to death on the ship? Don't believe that happened? All you got to do is go and read about the ZONG. ZONG. The Zong tragedy that happened with the people that was being shipped to Jamaica in the year 1781. You understand? What are we to do as a people after all of the curses have been explained Hebraically, historically, and so forth and so on? You must give an antidote to the situation. When you look, brothers and sisters, at what they refer to as the major prophets, Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel, there's a portion in Isaiah that says that the Most High has given the prophets over and the priests over to profanation. Pardon me, the princes of the sanctuary over the profanation. There's a part in the book of Jeremiah that says that the Most High will have the dogs to eat the flesh and have the other animals of prey to attack the people and have the famine in one way and have the sword outside and the famine within. There's another portion in Jeremiah that talks about that. There's a portion in Jeremiah that speaks about death shall be chosen rather than life. There's a portion in Ezekiel that the Most High said he will have the sons of Israel slain until he is satisfied. At the end of Isaiah, it talks about Israel returning. At the end of Jeremiah, it talks about the people returning. At the end of Ezekiel, not only does it talk about the people returning, it talks about the people becoming an army and the dry bones becoming bone to bone and flesh to cover it, and flesh shall be put within it, and this shall become a great army. Here's the point. The spirit of the debater and the spirit of the prophets of the Most High is different. Because the prophets, as we spoke of, Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel, give you not only a bad thing that will happen, but the good future. That's the difference. See, the debater just wants to be seen. So they're not going to promise you any good hope or any good future. They're just going to sit there and say, I'm seen, look at me. Let all eyes be on me. That kind of mentality. Whereas the spirit of the teacher, as it says in Isaiah, it says, your eyes shall see your teachers. It does not say your eyes shall behold the debater. You see, the Tanakh, the Old Testament, if you will, and the spirit that is talking about, and the spirit of the debater is two different things. Next slide. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 10. By pride cometh only contention, but with the well advised is wisdom. Now, brothers and sisters, in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 10, the Hebrew says this: Rak bazadon yitain maza, wa'et no azim hakma. Now, you see the color code there. Contention. The Hebrew word there being the word matzah. Now, that is, brothers and sisters, the closest word that you can get to the word debate in Hebrew is translated into English as the word contention. By pride cometh only debate. By pride only cometh contention. So the spirit of the debater is not what the Tanakh is emphasizing on. The spirit of wanting to be seen is not what the Tanakh is emphasizing on. The spirit of having to be that dude, quote unquote, is not what the Tanakh is focused on. Pride cometh only by contention, by pride, sorry. By pride cometh only contention. So because a person, brothers and sisters, let's go over the Hebrew. Rak bazadon. That's not color-coded, but for those able to follow along in the Hebrew, all right? The word zadon means arrogance as well. So by arrogance cometh only contention. So the spirit of the arrogant, the prideful one, will bring the spirit of the debating and the spirit of the contentious one. You understand? Brothers and sisters, that's not the way we are to be. You understand? As pointed out, it says your eyes will see your teachers. not your debaters. Next slide. Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 10. Woe is me, my mother, that thou hast borne me, a man of strife and a man of contention, to the whole earth. I have not lent, neither hath men lent to me, yet every one of them doth curse me. The Hebrew. Oili imi, ki, yelid tini ish arib, wa ish madon, nakol haaretz, lo nashiti, walo nashubi, kulo, mekwal, lahuni. Now, it's color coded there in the Hebrew, pardon for not the English. Madon. Brothers and sisters, the word madon is another word that's closely, loosely translated as debate, also translated here as the word contention. Jeremiah, also said by many as the weeping prophet, referred to himself as a man of contention because he's being cursed. Not because it's an aspect of, yeah, I make people feel bad. I sit there and make people and I shut them down. You understand? That's the difference. Next slide. Proverbs 17, verse 4. The beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water. Therefore, leave off contention before the quarrel break out. The Hebrew. Poter mayim reshit madon. Welifne hit gala. Harib natosh. The word natosh from the Hebrew word natas, which means to break out. Right? Harib meaning the quarrel or the contention. Madon, in this case, here translated as strife. So we can see the Hebrew matzah, also meaning contentious. All right, the Hebrew word madon, also meaning strife. Both matzah and madon are closely related in Hebrew to mean what? Debate in English. The beginning of strife, which is like a debate in this particular aspect, is as when one letteth out water. Therefore, leave off contention before the quarrel break out. You understand? This is why, brothers and sisters, the debate circuit has other people making other YouTube channels about other people, because that's the quarrel breaking out. That is the ruach. That is the spirits. That is the neshama. That is the breath. That is the makashaba. That is the thoughts. That is the gisha. That is the attitude which you have brought unto yourself. You understand? Therefore, leave off contention. Don't meddle, as it says in the Apocrypha. Meddle not with affairs that concern you not. Know when to just mind your business. Minding your business means that you're handling the proper place where you, as a brother, a sister, a man, or even a child, belong in. But brothers and sisters, when that pride comes in, you get out of place. And you just want to be, I gotta be seen, I gotta be that dude, I gotta be that dudette. Everybody gotta look at me. I'm going to say something that's crazy, just all eyes on me. So before the quarrel break out, before people make videos, set up other YouTube channels, sit there and try to splice your work together to try to sit there and see, boom, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. That sometimes, brothers and sisters, is the energy that one can bring on himself or herself by just trying to be that dude or that dudette. You understand? The person who seeks that, that is not what the Tanakh is talking about. Be careful, brothers and sisters, once it comes down to entertaining that kind of thought and that kind of mindset. You understand? Because when you get caught in the mainstream of it, in the maelstrom of such, you understand? Best believe that everybody's going to know you as the person who did not try to quell the problem, who did not try to sit there and alleviate the situation before it, quote, got out of hand. You entertained it, brothers or sisters. You understand? You didn't sit there and say, you know what, maybe that's not a good idea. maybe that should not be done, and certainly in that particular manner or that particular style or at all. It was something that was being hyped up, brothers and sisters. So now, when a quarrel breaks out and everybody's looking like, what? Who? How? Who? How? You don't want to be caught up in that, brothers and sisters. You understand? Next slide. Proverbs chapter 27, verse 2. Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth, a stranger, and not thine own lips. The Hebrew. Yahalelka zar, walopika, nakri, wa'al, safatecha. Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth. Streets talk, people know who did what. You understand? Not, let me just make this a little personal. I don't have to say I'm a Hebrew teacher. You just present Hebrew classes on YouTube, write books about Hebrew, and others will speak of it. Others will want to sit there and talk about it. I talk about my teacher in the history, my teacher in Hebrew, my teacher in advice, my advisors, and so forth and so on. My teachers don't have to say, we taught Yeshaya. I can speak for them because I am in part a product, aka a scholar / student, because the word scholar simply means student, by the way. You understand? Of X, Y, and Z teacher. Let another man praise thee and not thine own mouth. Because see, self-praise and self-grandizement, the arrogance, zadon, if you will, in the Hebrew. Brothers and sisters, that's not what the Tanakh is talking about and the kind of things that we want to involve ourselves in. The person, male or female, that praises himself or herself, brothers and sisters, lacks other things. For instance, Proverbs says in Proverbs chapter 12, verse 9, there is a man that playeth rank and lacketh bread. So while it's about me, and so forth and so on. When something is about a person, be it male or female, he or she is going to just be in that mode or quote in that one place or in the places that he or she has to be able to fulfill. Moses, may he rest in peace, did not say, I'm your leader over and over and over. When his mission was done, he said, I have led you these 40 years. Your shoes have not waxen old, nor have your feet swollen. That's in Deuteronomy. See, that's when he was finished with his mission. He's able to speak about certain things that has transpired and that has happened. You understand? And to this day, it says the name of the righteous shall be for a blessing. This is why you find Israelites naming themselves Dawid, David in the Hebrew, Mikael, Michael in the Hebrew. You understand? And other powerful, strong names such as that, because the name of the righteous is for a blessing. In my 30 plus years in the understanding of Israel, all right, I have yet to meet any Israelite, not saying that they don't exist, because I don't know everyone, by the name of Datan or Dathan. I've never met any Israelite by the name of Samael. Samael is said to be one of the angels, if you will, that's a negative or a bad one in some Hebrew theology or so forth. You understand? I've never met any Israelite sister named Delilah. I've never met any Israelite sister named Jezebel. You understand? I've met many Israelite sisters named Naama, Naami, Abigail, Yaquara, and so forth and so on. I've met many Israelite brothers named Dawid, Mikael, but never have I met one named Datan. Because the name that that individual in the Tanakh has left is a stained name. You understand? So now getting back to this, when somebody wants to name themselves after somebody else of good standing, that is a form of praising that person. That's not self-grandizement. That's somebody else saying, you know what? That person was good. I want that name too. That's how a stranger can praise you and not you, your own mouth. These are things, brothers and sisters, we want to talk about for edification purposes. You understand? Next slide. Teach, show, or explain to someone how to do something. Encourage someone to accept as a fact or principle. Cause someone to learn or understand something by example or experience. Now, a debate, as we read earlier, could be in a formal setting, not an education setting, not an enlightenment setting, but just formal, which can mean much of anything. It could be formally, you understand, negative. Now, brothers and sisters, teach is translated, pardon me, is defined as showing or explaining to someone how to do something. When a person, male or female, is taught something, he or she knows it, researches it. Whereas the aspect of the spirit of the debater, what sources are they citing? I say this, you say this. I say this, you say this. I say this, you say this. Yeah, we got a debate going on. And hey, there's going to be a debate part 2. There's no growth in that. There's no encouraging anybody to accept as a fact or a principle. There's no encouragement. It's strife. There's a difference between to encourage and to be contentious. Cause someone to learn or understand something by example or experience. Because, brothers and sisters, the mindset of the debater wants to be seen and doesn't care to be heard. They're not going to be able to explain something through an experience. They're not going to be able to give you an example. They're just going to hop all over from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. Well, you said this, but what about that? I know you are, but so what am I? That kind of spirit going back and forth, and it's childish when you get right down into it. Next slide. Exodus chapter 4, verse 12. Now therefore go, and I will be with thy mouth, and teach thee what thou shalt say. The Hebrew, wa'ata lek, wa'anoki ekye im pika, wa'ho retika asher tidaber. The Hebrew, color-coded, teach thee. In the blue, in the Hebrew, it says ho retika. Ho re, from the root word hora, means to teach. Hora. How do you say a female teacher in Hebrew? Is mora. So from hora, meaning to teach, you get the aspect of a female teacher, which is a mora. And from that, you get a male teacher, which is a more. You see the difference between the maza, the beta, and the more. There's a difference in the Hebraic understanding. The Most High said that he will teach Moshe what to say. Not that he's going to sit there and Pharaoh say this, and then you say this, and Pharaoh say this, and then you say that, and then Pharaoh say this, and you say that. No, you ain't got no time for that. I'm about to bring my people up out of captivity. The debates is not causing us to see the light that we have to leave this modern day Egypt. It's not causing us to have to be able to see that we got to do the za'akwa, which is the crying out. Because debate satisfies the contentious soul. And it causes, as the saying goes, ignorance is bliss and makes you happy just for the moment. And you get that high for that moment. And afterward, when reality still sets in, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm still in the same situation. So like the drug addict, we got to have a round 2. And then we're going to go to another debate. So everybody can still sit there and be seen. And then we're going to have another one. And then we're going to get the views. And then from the views, we're going to monetize it. And by monetizing it, ta-da, chi-ching. And meanwhile, the people are still not being fed. It talks about that in the book of Micah. It says, woe to those who teach for hire. That's right, in the prophets of the Most High. Woe to those who teach for hire. You know what that is? I'm going to sit there and portray to be a teacher, but it's really for that monetary gain. It is not for the purpose of brotherhood, sisterhood, nationhood. It's so all eyes can see me. Brothers and sisters, the Most High said what? He will not give his glory to another, neither his praise to graven images. So when the Most High begins to clean slate, you don't want to be what Proverbs talks about when it says that quarrel will break forth. In this video exposing that video, this camp being exposed by this camp, this brother or sister being exposed by this brother or sister. You don't want yourself to be caught up in that mix and in that foolishness. Hishamru Yisrael, take heed to thyself. Every view is not a good view. Don't think so? Remember the dummy brothers and sisters who did a murder in 2006 or 2007, and then he made a rap song about it on YouTube, and now he's doing time. The feds watch your YouTube videos. The ATF watch your YouTube videos. The CIA runs the social media. So we want to use wisdom, yet not sugarcoat a situation when doing a matter. You understand? So the views, the all eyes on me and everybody gets to see me. We're going to do it. Everybody gets to see you, gets to see me, and so forth and so on. Know that everybody, when you having 80, 90, 1,000 views, but you got less than 8 comments, you best believe a good 1/3 of them is just sitting up there waiting and waiting and waiting and plotting and scheming. Every dollar is not a good dollar. Every dime is not a good dime. No good and well. Brothers and sisters, use some wisdom. Know the difference between the spirit of the debater and the spirit of the teacher. There's differences. Next slide. Thank you. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 10. The day that thou stoodest before the Lord thy God in Horeb, when the Lord Yah said unto me, assemble me the people, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. Yom asher amata lifnei Yah Eloheka bakore be'emor Yah Elai hakeli et ha'am wa ashmi aim et debarai asher yil medun le yir'a oti kol hayamim asher him kayim aha adama wa et benehem yela medun. Brothers and sisters, you notice in this one verse, you see in the Hebrew, and I should have color coded it, but you see, brothers and sisters, right? If we got the arrow, for those able to see, Bakoreb, Be'emor Ya Elai, how Keli et Ta'am, Wa Ashmi Aim, et the Barai. Sheen Mem Ayin, the word Shama, meaning to hear. Wa Ashmi Aim, and I will cause them to hear. Et the Barai, my words. Ashel, Yil Medun, the Lamed, Mem, Dalit. Lamed, Mem, Dalit. Lamad, Lamed, to teach, to learn. Brothers and sisters, the Most High did not tell Moses to assemble the people so he can sit there and have a debate and a contentious discussion with them. And if we are men made in the image of the Most High, like Yah, not that we are like the Most High, but if we are in the image of the Most High, would we not want our words to also be heard? Would we not want to sit there and drop something so others can be able to teach their children? Or do you not care to have the people assembled, as it points out in Deuteronomy 4, because you're going to do something to be seen out there regardless? Even if it can be perhaps unwise, you're still being seen. See, the Most High is noted for saying, no man can see him and live. So with that being the case, why is it that we desire to be seen so much? The Most High, it says, it is better to obey than to sacrifice, to obey, to listen, to hearken, than to sacrifice. Things that are a sacrifice are things that are seen. That's what Saul didn't understand in the Bible. I brought the lambs for a sacrifice that can be seen. No. Saul, baby, you messing up. It's not for you to sit there and have things to be seen. It is better to obey than to sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat it's better to obey than to sacrifice, and to hearken than the flesh of beast, or somewhere in that particular ballpark. Pardon me for misquoting it. You understand? In a nutshell, brothers and sisters, it is better to be heard than to be seen. You understand? This is something we want to point out. The Most High in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter, says that the mountains and the hills shall be made low, and the haughtiness of man shall be brought down, and all shall see it. The Most High's glory and your arrogance is not going to fill the Most High's made earth. My teacher, may he rest in peace, out of kosher erit, when I was a child, used to have the saying that said, your arms are too short to box with God. You understand? So if you're going to be a person doing videos, writing books, wherever it may be, doing presentations, teaching your children, whatever it is, doing a lecture, if that is the sacrifice of our lips, as it says in the book of Hosea, and that is a way to praise the Most High and to give honor to the Most High, he will establish you. You don't have to sit there and, I'm going to just try any new way, because the Most High will direct your path. Don't go that way. Go that way. Don't go this way. Go use that way. You understand? But when a person wants to go his own or her own way, it is not going to work eventually. The haughtiness of man shall be brought low, says Isaiah chapter 2. And the glory of the Most High will be seen. So therefore, men and women who want to be that one to be seen, it's not going to fill in the word of the Most High. That's why it's wise to know when to fall back. Everything is not made for everybody. Know one's role and place. Now, with that being said, brothers and sisters, let's go on to the next slide, but I want to emphasize on something. If a brother or a sister is out of place, if a brother or sister, as the common phrase is said, they have an ego, their ego is high, it is your duty as a brother or sister to check that brother or sister. It says, you shall surely rebuke your neighbor and not bear sin because of him. So if a brother or a sister, if his or her ego is high, let that brother or sister know so they can begin to see. That's what you do. Don't sit there and be silent. And then when, quote, the contention, the strife, and the quarrel comes up, all of these inner ill and bad feelings come out like, what? I didn't know you felt that way. Wow. Well, yeah, I felt that way because of this, that. Well, why didn't you say something, brother or sister or elder or youth or child? Why did you not sit there and speak that? And if you think that's out of one's place, the Most High, the creator of heaven and earth, the one that Jeremiah says caused the wind to go and make the waves thereof roar. Jehovah Zebaoth is his name. You understand? That's the one we're talking about. The one that says, commands the water, tsunami, and the cows and the animals in Indonesia went up the mountain before the people were still sitting up there like, what's going on? The animals were more in tune with the Most High Before that tsunami came in 2004, the cows went up the mountain. The human being, not in tune with his or her maker, is like, what's going on? Slap. Do you understand? So these are things, brothers and sisters, that we want to talk about and emphasize for edification purposes. Proverbs 4, verse 4. And he taught me and said unto me, let thy heart hold fast my words, keep my commandments and live. Wayoreni, wayomerli. Yitamak de barai, libeaka. Shamor mitwotai, wachye. The Hebrew, highlighted there in the blue, color coded, if you will, right? He taught me, Yoreni, coming from the root word hora. Yore means he will teach. Yoreni means he will teach me. Wayoreni means and he taught me. Because even though you see the difference between the past tense and the future tense, in biblical Hebrew, there's a thing called the wow hakipuk or the wow consecutive, where the prefix of the wow, as we see here, the letter wow still in the black there. That's why the word and is still left in the black. That in biblical Hebrew makes this future tense word transform into the past tense. You understand? So this is something, brothers and sisters, we want to point out for edification purposes. Next slide. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 2. When pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 1. Whoso loveth knowledge loveth correction, but he that is brutish hateth reproof. Micah chapter 6, verse 8. It hath been told thee, O man, what is good, and what the Most High doth require of thee, only to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy Elohim. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. And final thought, nobody is perfect. This does not mean that we should remain imperfect. Shalom.